Hello there, my name's Hull. You may know of me as that warrior who frequents the red battlefield, permanently chasing down high pointers. I'm going to attempt to make the so-called brain-dead class more accessible to new players by addressing the key basics of warrior. They're probably tips that you may already have learned throughout your BDO experience, but I'd like to go a bit more in-depth on some of them. So, to start off, what is it? First off, the most important mechanic of the warrior class is the so-called lingering super armor. This is the glue that sticks the warrior kit together and allows things to flow properly, which otherwise would not work. To understand what this is, try blocking. Once your block has gone up, you will get a buff about a half a second later. This buff, which gives 26 AP and 20 DP, is the so-called lingering super armor. Once it is applied, this lingering super armor will envelop anything you do for the next 1.5 to 2 seconds for both awakening form and pre-awakening form. However, the moment that the 2 seconds are over, you will be vulnerable to CC. It is vital to understand this point because the buff is not applied instantly. This is why you get CC'd when you attempt to block once more after an active skirmish. You do not actually have super armor the moment you put guard back up. No, you have to wait until the tick the buff refreshes. Once you guard, you activate the frontal guard that is inherent in this skill, but not the super armor that allows you to withstand CC from the sides and the back. In that line of thought, you have to constantly refresh this lingering super armor buff in order to capitalize on your invulnerability. Thus, it is optimal for you to put that guard up as soon as possible in order to avoid getting CC during your movement. Contrary to popular belief by oddball forum goers, this super armor does not make the warrior completely invulnerable either. As popularized as it is, the warrior guard is not 360 degrees. There are certain skills that completely disregard this fact and do indeed CC the warrior even when the buff is up. However, this occurs when you merely remain in block form and do not pursue an active course of action. As shown by Star Chief on the Warrior Discord, a Witch or Wizard's 3 skill or Frigate Fog skill will be able to penetrate the so-called 360 degree block. The warrior is frozen in place. While he is not susceptible to grab while frozen, he is very much vulnerable to damage. Similar cases occur with Ninja and Kunoichi's block jump, which stiffen a warrior even with his block up, and the lingering super armor that is apparently applied. This has led to much speculation over how the block actually works for the warrior. Is this buff really super armor at all? Much discussion has been had over this issue, and Star Chief has proposed that it could very well be increased resistance overall to nearly everything, but not actually super armor. Whatever it is, be careful around witches and wizards that know how to use their pre-awaken kit to kite you. Just knowing is half the story. Actually utilizing this buff is something entirely different. You could very well just stay stationary at a position and do a few tricks and gimmicks here and there, but in the heat of battle, it is very easy to lose track of what you have and when you have to block. The most basic functionality of this mechanic is to rotate the buff in order to engage and disengage. This is by utilizing head chase, the warrior's dash skill, and putting block up in an almost uniform process. The key here is to really understand head chase. It is a skill that has iframes during the animation, but not from the start or the end. Suffice to say, because of this, simply dashing away will do one no good if the lingering super armor buff is not active, for a stray CC could very well end your life. Onto the defensive side of things, the lingering super armor is required in order to survive any form of team play. Disengaging with the lingering super armor makes it all the more easier to survive the initial engage. Our charging thrust skill only has frontal guard, so any CCs thrown at you during the animation process will be effective. However, if you block prior to using the skill, you will gain the super armor upon switching over to cover the entire duration of charging thrust. Using it offensively, though, is a very ideal perk of the mechanic. If you do not block prior to switching from the greatsword form into sword and shield form, you will be CC'd when you attempt to grapple the target, should their supporting teammates throw their spells at you. Understand that a warrior should never attempt to grapple a target without blocking prior in a scenario that is not 1 versus 1, or else that warrior will suffer the consequences for his actions. While there is much more to cover regarding lingering super armor, these are the core basics that any warrior should know. I'd like to make sure they are covered first, as they are essential to a warrior's functionality on the battlefield. If you have any questions or are confused about anything I've covered, you can leave me a comment down below or ask around in the BDO Warrior Discord. I do sometimes stream, so if you're interested, there's a link to my Twitch in the descriptions below. If you have any inquiries on where to donate your points to in RBF, please leave them in a basket addressed to one Hole. He'll gladly take your points off of your dead cold hands. I hope you've learned something in this video. Thank you for watching.